might just change. It just buzzed the front gate. Thank God you came. How many more days could I wait?
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lauren here at the Nail Haven, and today's video is going to be another video that I've previously done, but we're going to retry it and hopefully it's better for y'all. I was getting a lot of questions in regards to my 20-piece nail set video, so I'm going to be recording today, but I'm only going to record it for my nail shapes that have 15 different sizes, so it's actually a 30-piece nail set, and hopefully I can explain it better. I honestly don't know how much more I can explain it, but I'm going to try. This is the design that we're going to be doing for today. We're going to tweak it a little bit, but this is the overall design. So let's get straight into it. So first things first, you're going to get your personal nail stands, and we're going to be doing 3 different lengths. They're all going to be square, but they're going to be short, medium is medium, so in between medium is short. And I'm going to show y'all the tips that I use. Here's the stands. I'm going to need 4 stands for each shape. Actually, you're going to need 6, but we're only going to do the design on 20 of the nails, and then the other 10 are going to get a plain, simple, either French tip or a design similar that matches the main design. Now, while I get these out, I'm going to explain why I do that. So for one, I do that to keep my pricing as cheap or as affordable as possible, because if I was to do a full design on 30 nails, you're technically getting 3 nail sets, and if I'm going to do the work for 3 nail sets, I'm going to get paid to do that work for 3 nail sets. So I would have to increase the pricing on my sets if I was to do full designs on all 30 nails. So instead, to keep my prices as low as possible, I only do the designs on 20 of the nails. And then, like I said, the rest of the 10 get a regular design. So let me put these out real quick, and then we can get deeper into some explanations. All right, y'all, so we're going to start off with our medium square. So for the medium square, I'm also going to be using the same nail tips for my medium square. So for these ones, this is the sizing that I do for my medium short square tips that have 15 different sizes. Okay, the way that I do my sizing is I do the thumb as the biggest, the middle finger as the next, index, ring, and then pinky. Now, please, I don't really know how else to explain how I came up with my sizing. Honestly speaking, you can either do what I do or don't. Figure it out yourself. Do what I do. It's up to you. As far as trying to explain this, it's just something that I can't physically explain. Like, I just went in, used my hand for like a guide as a medium, then I did it up, and then I did it down for the smaller and the bigger sizes. I just, like, that's the best way I can explain it. Once again, if you don't understand it, don't use it. If you do understand it, then use it. If you understand it and don't want to use it, that's totally up to you. But this is what I do, okay? All right, so these are the sizes that I'm going to use for the designs with the this is going to be the main design. So these ones that you see right here are going to get the design on it, and it goes from thumb to pinky. The nails over here get plain design, so they either get French tips, solid colors, something plain and easy that matches the main design. So if y'all want to take a screenshot, I'll put it in the camera for y'all. And this is what I do for these specific nail tips with 15 different sizes. So I'm going to pull out my nails. The box does say E-Nail Couture, but it actually is not the brand E-Nail Couture. I just use their box because the box that I get my medium square tips are pretty small. I'll make sure to link the nail tips that I use down below. But I'm just going to pull out the sizing, and I'll come back when I'm done. Now that I got them out for my nail stands, I use double-sided mounting tape. I don't use the putty. I think that the putty actually sucks. So I use double-sided mounting tape. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the sizing. This is how I do it. I do a 1, 2, 2, 3 for the thumbs. Next up we have a 5, 2 6s, and a 7 for the index. The middle finger is going to get a size 3, 2 size 4s, and the second size 5. For the ring finger, we're gonna do a size 7, 2 size 8s, a size 9, and for the pinky, you can honestly do whatever. I just put up some pinky nails. There's like 6 different sizes for pinkies, but we'll do a size 10, a size 11, 13, and a 12. What was that, a 12? That was a 12. 12 and 13. These other nails are going to get set to the side for now, and then we're just going to go ahead and put these nails onto the stands. Like I said, I use double-sided mounting tape. I'll make sure to link it down below, the one that I specifically buy. I feel like it's nice, and it's a nice width for press-on stands. Just stick these right on down. Ignore my red fingers, y'all. I was just eating hot Cheetos. And I'm just gonna do this for all of the sizes. Thumb down. Now that we have all of the nails on the stands, we can go ahead and start our process. The sizing will be the same for all 3 nail sets because all 3 nail sets will have 15 different sizes, okay? Like I said earlier, I don't really know how much more in depth I can get with the sizing. I tried to explain it the way that I can, the best way that I know how. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start getting into the design process. I'm only gonna show the design for, I think I'm gonna do medium square because I've never done that on YouTube before. So like I said, if y'all do have any further questions in regards to how I do this, you can comment it down below and I can try to answer it to my best ability. But this is the best way I know how to explain what I'm doing. Alrighty, so first things first, we're going to go in with our file and we're going to edge the tops of the nails. I'm using an old 80 grit file, but you can use whatever you want. I know some people like to chemically edge, use a buffer, use a lower grit file. It's up to you what you want to do, but I'm going in with an old 80 grit file. And we're going to do this to all of the nails. The reason is I like to make sure that we're creating texture so that when we apply the gel polish, it sticks to the nail and grips on pretty good and it does not peel. So I'm going to do all 5 of those, and then after I do that, I'm going to go in with my buffer and smooth out. Because I am going with the coarse bit file, I want to kind of smooth it out so there's not any ridges that's poking up or anything. So I'm just gonna go in with my buffer and smooth all of that out like this. Now we're buffing the nails to remove the excess dust, and then we're gonna go in and make sure that the nails are placed on the stands evenly, because if they're not placed evenly, they will end up being crooked, which means that your design will come out crooked because you're seeing it crooked. So make sure that you're checking the front and the backs of the nails to see if they're evenly placed in the middle. If not, go in and fix that before you start designing. And then once I do that, I'm going to wipe off the nails with alcohol to remove any other micro dust that may be on the nails still. And then we're going to go ahead and start our base application. So the first thing I go in with is base coat. Now my bottle will say foundation, but it's just base coat. I use this one's by Beetles. I make sure to link all my basics down below, as well as my Amazon storefront for y'all, so make sure y'all go check that out. But I'm going to apply my base coat first, and then I'm going to go in with my layer of builder gel and then my colors. And I think I'm going to just leave all of that in for today's video. Usually I'll just refer y'all to my base application video, but today I just decided to leave it all in. So I'm going to let y'all watch, and I'm going to call y'all back when we're doing something else. NT, you made this? Tip: if you're just now starting to use builder gel and you're having troubles with the builder gel being too bulky or the nails coming out bulky on the sides, when you apply it, make sure that you're wiping off the excess from the sides, and also holding the nails upside down will help create a fake apex, I call it, or mimic creating an apex, because when you hold the nails upside down, it'll force the gel polish or the builder gel to move in whatever direction that you're putting it in. So when you're holding it upside down, it's going to go towards the top of the nails, which is going to help mimic the apex and remove the polish and gel from the sides of the nails and help keep that nail shape nice and crisp. Now we're going in with our base colors. I'm going to go in with this light blue on the middle and the ring finger, and then my base nude colors on the thumb, index, and pinky finger. I will be creating a video of all of the base colors that I use. I get a lot of questions on live asking what color base is this, what base is this. So I'm actually going to drop a video on my base colors that I use the most. But I do have them linked to my Amazon storefront if y'all want to go check that out. I'm going to do 3 layers of both the base and the blue polish. So now that we've applied all of our base layers, we're going to go in with acetone or alcohol and wipe the nails off to remove that sticky layer, because we're about to buff the nails that we just wiped down. I personally like to work on a buffed surface. This part is optional. You don't have to do it. I know some people may also use a matte top coat, but I prefer using the buffer method. Like I said, it's totally up to preference and what you want to do. You don't have to wipe it off or do any of this. You could just go straight in after applying your base colors. So figure out what you like and what works for you, and then you can do that, or you can do what I do. So after I buff the nails, I'm going to wipe them down with alcohol and dust them off. And then we're going to go in on those same fingers and we're going to do a white French tip. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to do the water nails first. Okay, anyway, we're going to take a milky white and we're going to apply that to the blue nails, which are the middle finger and the ring finger. And you're going to do this and not cure it, okay? Because we're going to go in with our dotting tool, as you see me doing here, with top coat mixed with blooming gel. The reason I mixed it was because I felt like my top coat wasn't moving fast enough, but I felt like my blooming gel was moving too fast. So I mixed the two of them to get this design. And you're going to go with your dotting tool and literally just put the dots onto the nail as if you were doing tortoise design. And then once you get it in the design that you like, you're going to go ahead and cure it. So I'm going to do it again for the ring finger. Once again, the dots on top of the milky white, the uncured milky white. You're not going to cure it until after you do your dots, okay? So now we're going to move into our French tips. So all of the nails that got a nude base are going to get white French tips. And I'm going in with my Beetles white French. Not white French. I'm going with my Beetles white gel polish. I like, well, Melody Susie, I mean. But okay, so I use both Melody Susie and Beetles. I feel like Beetles is a bit too runny and I feel like I have to go in with 2 coats. But I feel like Melody Susie has way too many air bubbles. And it's like you get a hit or a miss with either one of these. So sometimes I do actually go in and I mix them, because the Melody Susie is more of a blue white and the Beetles is more of a, like a, not an off-white, but like a yellowy white. So when I mix them in together, that also kind of helps combat with some of that yellowy white that the Beetles ones has. But honestly, they both kind of work the same for their price range. I might invest in getting some better white gel polishes just so that I can do a 1-coat French tip and not have to worry about, oh, I should probably go in and do another layer. But yeah, we're going to do French tips on the thumb, index, well, white French tips are going on the thumb and the pinky, and then on the index finger is going to be a glitter French so that we can do a rhinestone French tip.
But you can't just diss and come tell man sorry. You can't listen to me talk and go tell my story. It don't work like that when you lost somebody. My old flex is my new flex now, and we're working on it. And that's why I need all the energy that you bring to me. My last girl would tear me apart, but she never wanna split a thing with me. But when it comes to you, I think I'd lie for you. I think I'd die for you. Do things when you want me to, like control. to give you nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't wanna see me find your love. They don't wanna see me smiling back when they breathe. First see the city skylight shining from my room. Yes, such a sight to see in the month of June. Beautiful like the moon's reflection when it's passing off your skin. And before you let me in, I hear you say, it's been a long time. I say, okay, don't worry, I got you.
Okay, so once we cured all of those French tips, we're going to go in on that index finger with the rhinestone and we're going to file it. The reason I like to file first is because I file my nails at the very end, and because we're going to use rhinestones, it's kind of hard to file them. So I file it before I put them down so I can know how much space I have, and so that I don't have to worry about going back in and filing again and all of that. So hopefully that made sense. Anyways, we're gonna go in with our rhinestone glue, and I'm going to use these gold crystals that I got from Amazon. They're just regular crystals. They're not anything special. No Swarovskis, no blue streak or whatever that one is. But yeah, I'm just going to go in, and I did try to speed this part up. I sped it up by 3.7. So yeah, it still took me a minute I really don't like doing rhinestone French tips, and I don't know why I do this to myself. I should have did like an outline where the rhinestones just outline the nail instead of like doing a French tip. But hey, I persevered and I got it done. So I'm gonna let y'all watch me do that, and I'm gonna call y'all back when I'm doing the new thing. Okay, so next for the thumb and the pinky finger, they're going to get the same design, just on opposite sides, and you'll see what I mean once we start. But we're going to go in with our airbrush and our light blue mixture, and we're going to spray the French tip. And I'm kind of going to do like an ombre, so I'm going to start off at the top, and then I'm going to do multiple layers at the tip of the nail to darken it up. And then I'm going to take my cleanup brush with acetone on it and wipe off the airbrush in the places that I don't want it. The only thing about doing airbrush with French tips is the fact that you have to go in and clean up. I love using my airbrush, but I've decided that doing airbrush on French tips is probably the thing that I dislike the most. But yeah, we're just gonna go in, do multiple layers, flash cure, clean up, do all of that. You'll watch me do it here, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing. And T, you made this? Okay, so next we're going to do both the middle and the ring finger together because they're similar designs. You're going to go in and buff the nails because we're going to apply chrome. I use the buff method. Some people use matte top coat. Other people use different methods. That's just what I do. So I'm going to go in, buff them, and then I'm going to wipe them off with alcohol. And then we're going to take our rhinestone glue. It's McCart rhinestone glue. I don't really think it matters what rhinestone glue you use as long as it's thick. I'm going to take that and we're going to drop a dollop. A nice big dollop on the nail, and then I'm going to take it was probably like an 8mm brush and use that to drag and make the fish's body, as you see me doing here. Yeah, real easy, real simple. And then we're gonna flash cure so that the fish doesn't lose its shape. And then once we flash cure, I am going to put it in the big lamp, and I'm gonna do the same the same technique on the ring finger, but instead of doing one, we're gonna do two and kind of do like yin yang. And yeah, same thing, flash cure, then put in the big lamp to fully cure.
I think I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like controller. Yeah, like controller. Yeah. Okay, you like it when I get aggressive. Tell you to go slower, go faster. Like controller. Yeah, like controller. Yeah. And I'm never on a wasting shawty. I do it how you say you want it.
Next on the list, we're gonna go ahead and start doing this chrome. So I'm gonna mix black gel polish with top coat, and I'm going to take I'm not sure what length this brush is, but I'm just gonna take a brush and go over the rhinestone glue. So because I don't want the top of this to run while I'm trying to draw the fins and the tail, I'm going to flash cure it for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then I'm going to go in and do that part. But then I guess in this video, I just moved on to the next thing. But y'all will see what I'm doing. The reason I'm flash curing is to make sure that the polish does not run off of the 3D line, the 3D ball fish mold, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, but after I flash cure, I am going to put it in the big lamp for 60 seconds, and then we're going to apply our chrome. So for the chrome, I did want a white gold look, so I'm mixing these two chromes together. These are a pressed palette. I do 100% prefer the loose powder. I don't know, these pressed palettes kind of not my style, but I'm going to use them because I bought it. But I'm just going in, mixing those two together, and then applying the chrome. Once I apply it, I'm going to take my dust brush and remove any excess chrome. And then we're going to take black gel polish and draw our details, which is just a line down the back and the eyes.
It's been a long time. I say, okay, don't worry, I got you. Do you say, I want some more? Got me, I got you. Do you say, some slow? Got that shiny out, green and Marvin.
Alrighty, so now we're going to base coat over the nails that you see me doing here, because you want to make sure that that chrome doesn't go anywhere. Because if you don't and you accidentally mess up something and try to wipe it off, you're going to wipe off the chrome as well. And you don't want that to happen. Same with the airbrush. You're going to go and base coat that so that if we mess up any design after this, it won't get messed up as far as the airbrush. It'll only wipe off the surface. But I'm going to top coat that ring finger because I'm actually done. That is the final design. Nothing else needs to be added to it. So we're going to go ahead and top coat. Moving to that thumbnail, we're going to go and do 2 flower petals at the top left corner of the nail. Well, in the video it's top left, but it's actually bottom right cuticle. But y'all see where I'm placing this stuff at. And I'm just going to roll out 2 balls of this white sculpting gel and use my silicone tool to mold the petals into the shape that I like. Cure that, and then I think I'm going to move on to both the pinky and the middle finger and do the same thing, sculpt out my flowers, and yeah. So I'm going to go in with my airbrush to do the pink part. You can go with your airbrush, you can go with a sponge. I just find that my airbrush is just a bit quicker. And yeah, I just wish I had like a pinpointed airbrush where it could like just spray specific areas instead of like the wide range spray that it is. But I'm just going in doing maybe like 1 or 2 layers of this pink. It's like a hot pink color. Only on the centers of the petals, not the entire petal, because you want it to look like an ombre. And we're going to do that for both the thumb and the pinky nail. So while those are in the lamp curing, we're going to go ahead and do our middle finger. You can honestly do all of the 3D flowers at once and do the airbrush as well as once. I don't know why I decided to do the thumb and the pinky and then the middle finger, because it's literally the same design. But hey, bear with me. Sometimes my brain be working at full capacity and it be late at night, okay? It be overworking sometimes. But yeah, I'm just going in, and on the middle finger, we're going to do 3 petals on the side of the nail. Same technique that we did for the thumb and the pinky, but just on the side. So now we're going to go in with rhinestone glue and add 3 little pearl beads to the middle of that flower. I didn't add it to the thumb and the pinky because the flower was already at the cuticle. I didn't want the cuticle to be too bulky, so I did it on the middle finger instead of all 3. But once we apply those pearls, we're going to get them in the place that we like, and then we're going to go over them with rhinestone glue mixer top coat to make sure that they don't turn colors on us, because they sometimes will. And then we're done with that nail, and you can go ahead and top coat.
You made this?
So after top coating everything, I'm going with my 80 grit file, and we're going to file all of the nails that need to be filed, because the designs is done and the designs that's left over actually go on top of the top coat and not under it. So I'm going to file those tips and get them all ready for the last step of this nail set.
Just buzz the front gate. Thank God you came. How many more days could I wait? I made plans with you, and I won't let them fall through. I think I lie for you.
So now, after dusting off the nails, we're going to go in with our rhinestone glue and top coat mixture and do our 3D lines on both the thumb and the pinky finger. And that is the last design for this nail set. After that, we'll be done, and we'll go ahead and start our prepping process for the nails to get packaged.
Okay, you like it when I get aggressive. Tell you to go slower, go faster, like controller. controller, controller. And I'm never on a wasting shawty. I do it how you say you want it. Them girls, they just wanna take my money. They don't want me to give you nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't wanna see me find your love. They don't wanna see me smiling back when they knowing I lie for you. Thinking I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like controller, controller. Yeah. Like controller, controller. Yeah. But you can't just diss and come tell man sorry. You can't listen to me talk and go tell my story. It don't work like that when you lost somebody. My old flex is my new flex now, and we're working on it. That's why I need all the energy that you.
So I decided to leave in a clip of me doing the nails that don't get a full design. These nails get a simple white French tip and 3D lines to match the main design. Like I said, I don't do a full design on all 30 of the nails because that would simply mean that you're paying for 3 nail sets, okay? So I'm just going in filing those so that I can go in with that same rhinestone glue and top coat mixture and do my 3D lines on these nails as well.
First see the city skylight shining from my room. Yes, such a sight to see in the month of June. Beautiful like the moon's reflection when it's passing off your skin. And before you let me in, I hear you say, it's been.
Now that all of the nails have received their designs, we're going to go in etch the insides of the nails with our e-file. There's a couple different reasons why I do this. One is just to create texture on the back of the nails so that the glue has something to grip onto, remove any excess product that may have gotten under the nail, and after applying so much product, the nails sometimes tend to shrink up or tighten up. So I'm going in with my e-file to open up the insides of the nail, and then we're going to take our 180 grit file and smooth out the sides of the nails and dust those nails off. Once we dust those nails off, we're going to go in with our acetone on a Q-tip and chemically etch the insides of the nails. I'm actually using this to clean. Usually when I use alcohol, the backs of the nails turn white. When you use acetone, they don't turn white. So I'm going to go in and chemically etch or clean up the backs of the nails. And then we're going to start applying it to our nail cards.
Loving your reaction every time I hit that spot. But it's soft like leather, but the top is hard. Whisper your pleasures and I'll do my job. Rating intense, girl, let me do what I do. I don't know what's echoing louder, the music or you. I ain't close to being done yet. You're getting real warm, like the coming of thunder. Right after the storm, you say.
So I did decide to mirror the nails and do one going downwards, one going upwards. But anyway, here's the nails. We're going to take our lint-free wipe off the nails to remove any smudges on them. Usually I'll use alcohol, but with my new cards I can't because it'll turn the backs of them black as if I was to print something out. And I did record a video on how to make my nail cards, so be looking out for that. And we're gonna I didn't do it in this clip because I was trying to hurry up and edit this video, but I'm just going to go in also with the extra nails, wipe those off with the alcohol in the dry wipe to make sure that they're clean of smudges, and then we're gonna go ahead and package everything up. But here's what the nails look like all together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any video suggestions, please leave them down below. But anyway, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, check out all my other videos, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.